You may be asking why I'm carrying this box while riding a Onewheel. I'm picking up our Sup Rents Onewheel XR rental from the UPS store that I had it delivered to near where we stayed in East Village, Manhattan, New York City. This video is day 2 of our New York City fall break family vacation. If you missed my New York City day 1 video with Mario Contino, you can click back on this link right here and go check it out. I'm riding back to our rental unit to drop off this box that the Onewheel came in. Then I'm going to try to catch up with my family who took an Uber to the Brooklyn Bridge. During this ride, I want to talk about what I want to see in the next Onewheel and why we probably won't see a new Onewheel XR in 2020. One of the most common questions I get asked is, when do I think the next Onewheel will be released? First off, let's talk about what I don't want to see in the next generation Onewheel, and that is some sort of suspension system. I know there are a lot of patents and diagrams floating around on the interwebs with rumors of Future Motion working on a Onewheel with suspension, but that just sounds like an April Fool's gag. It's impractical and it belongs in the category with the solar sombrero and the commitment pads. Not only is a suspension unnecessary, it will drive up costs, complexity, weight, and the need for repairs. So Future Motion, I know at least a few of you guys watch my videos even though you may deny it. Please don't make a Onewheel with suspension. Now, before I get into what I see in the future for the next generation Onewheel, let's look into the ghosts of Onewheel's past. The Onewheel V1 was a Kickstarter that was announced in January of 2014, and the first Onewheels started shipping at the end of 2014. The Onewheel V1 was in production for about 2 years before the next generation Onewheel Plus was released. Then, in January of 2017, the Onewheel Plus was announced and shipping started later that year. In January of 2018, the Onewheel XR was announced and shipping started later that year. Then, in March of 2019, the Onewheel Pint was announced and shipping started later that year. Subsequent Onewheel models have been released every year since the Onewheel Plus, which was followed by the XR and then the Pint. Does that mean we should expect to see a refresh for the Onewheel XR in early 2020, like in years past? I don't think so, and here's why. The Onewheel XR is still very popular amongst riders, and at the time of making this video, the XR has only been out for less than 2 years. So in the grand scheme of things, while not new, the XR isn't ancient technology. There are a ton of Pint riders who are realizing that they want more range and speed, and they are now looking to the Onewheel XR. I'm sure Future Motion has got production process dialed down on the XR now, and that the profit margins per XR have got to be pretty favorable to the company at this point. In addition, there are no signs that the demand for the XR is slowing. If anything, demand is holding steady compared to this time last year because of the publicity from the entry-level Pint, which has encouraged a new generation of Onewheel riders to take on the hobby of Onewheeling. You can be sure that a good number of these Pint riders will be graduating to the XR sooner rather than later. Another sign that Future Motion doesn't plan on phasing out the XR anytime soon is the lackluster Onewheel XR Black Friday deal of 2019. I was very underwhelmed by the less than 10% discount on the Onewheel XR, which was the identical discount to the year before. Basically, it was the same small discount on technology that was now a year older. The only reason Future Motion would and could do this is because the demand is still strong for the XR. For the Black Friday deal of 2018, the Onewheel Plus was given a steep discount. That's the Onewheel Plus. At the time, we thought this was a great deal, but Future Motion was actually trying to boost sales on a dying model and clear inventory in preparation for the new Pint. The fact that the XR was given a relatively anemic Black Friday discount leads me to believe that the XR still has plenty of range left in its current life cycle. A new device would mean lots of things for Future Motion. It would mean new expenses, new tooling, new engineering, new production lines, and new headaches. My prediction is Future Motion will enjoy the fruits of the Pint and XR for now, but I'm pretty sure they're working on the new XR replacement, as I think we will be introduced to this at the end of 2020, with shipping of this new device not starting until the spring of 2021. What can we expect, hope, and dream for with the next model of the Onewheel? Well, here we go. This is what I expect. I expect the body and design to be very similar to the Onewheel Pint. Refined and finished, just larger in size than the Pint, but with a similar range and speed to that of the current XR. That is what I expect. What I hope for, though, is different. I hope that there's going to be added safety measures to help protect people from themselves when riding this device. I hope the new device will have better range, better torque, better speed, better safety reserve power, and a better warning system to prevent nosedives. I also hope for better Bluetooth connectivity with my phone. I know a lot of diehard fans will disagree with this next thing that I hope for, but I feel an audible alert would be very effective to prevent nosedives that happen when riders overpower the motor. This feature is actually very helpful in electric unicycles, and for those who think that they would hate it, I'd like to see an option to adjust when the alert goes off, and even have the option to turn it off if you don't like it. The last thing I hope for is not specific to the Onewheel model, but it is important for the growth and the success of Future Motion, and that is why I hope for it. I hope that there is a better way to repair broken boards. Improved access to either service centers or support for people to fix their boards regionally instead of having to mail it back to Future Motion in California each time is a huge need for the community. Those are the things that I hope for. Now for the last category, in my dreams. I would love to see these things happen, but I still believe we're a long ways away from any of these things happening. First off, I'd love to see swappable batteries so I can switch out batteries during a ride and not have to worry about finding somewhere to recharge. I also dream about Onewheel waterproofing. The water resistance on past Onewheel models has been very inconsistent. I'd love to see true waterproofing, or at least an official water resistance testing and rating by a reputable third party, so I know what type of wet conditions I can ride in. I would love to see a lighter board. I'd like to see the weight drop to around 20 pounds, so there's enough weight to give it a solid feel, but light enough to make it easier to carry and to do tricks with. I also dream about GPS tracking, or a more robust connection between the device with the app so I can track and find a stolen board, either through GPS or through the app when stolen. I also dream of a lower price for the flagship Onewheel. I can dream of a lower price on the Onewheel XR replacement, but I don't see this one ever happening anytime soon. Given the lack of any competition in the single-wheeled, self-balancing market that you'd ride like a skateboard, there is no drive for Future Motion to lower the price on their high-end devices. The lack of competition gives Future Motion the freedom to do and charge what they please. The Brooklyn Bridge, which we crossed twice on this day, connects the boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn. It's one of the oldest roadway bridges in the United States, and it's the world's first steel wire suspension bridge. There were lots of doubts and fears about the bridge's safety, and shortly after the opening of the bridge, a screaming woman who fell in a stairwell led to mass hysteria that the bridge was collapsing, which resulted in at least 12 people being crushed and killed during a stampede. To help quell fears, one of P.T. Barnum's most famous circus attractions, the Elephant Jumbo, led a parade of 21 elephants over the Brooklyn Bridge. This helped to improve public perception of the bridge's stability. The Onewheel is great fun, but I know a lot of people who will not ride it because of the public perception and fear over the dangers of the device. I hope Future Motion can do something to show that they are making true efforts to improve the Onewheel to make it better and safer for everyone to ride. An audible warning system with increased built-in power reserve may seem like a circus act to some, but to me, these additions would really help show that the company is making an effort to protect its riders, and that's what I want to see in future Onewheels. The Onewheel is a great device, but there is still plenty of room for improvement, particularly when it comes to range, safety, service, and repair options. What do you think is a must-have in the next generation Onewheel? Share it with us in the comments below. Do you want to see suspension in a future Onewheel? Special thanks to suprents.com for providing 2 Onewheel XR rentals for this New York City vacation. Suprents is a great way to rent a Onewheel for a trip, or just to try the Onewheel before buying. Go check them out. Thanks for watching, you guys, and as always, remember to wear your safety gear.